Hello everybody, Daniel Cohen here. I just want to discuss the very latest Israel-Palestine conflict and the bombing of Gaza and all these hundreds of targets and the 100 civilians who have unfortunately died. This seems to be happening every 2 years. There's a massive conflagration, a kind of explosion of violence between Palestine and Israel. The rockets from both sides don't seem to be stopping. And children are being killed on both sides as well. But when we look at actual body count, the Palestinians are suffering a lot more. And if I can say one thing to my countrymen, you know, I spent 3 years in the IDF like everyone else inside intelligence. And the amount of phone calls I had to listen to from Gaza, and it's very complicated. But if I have some advice for my countrymen, is that there is no honor in dropping 750-pound laser-guided precision bombs into a built-up residential area. There is no honor in having pictures of toddlers with their skulls caved in after being ripped apart by shrapnel from massive Israeli ordnance. Yes, missiles and rockets are being fired from within the Gaza Strip. Yes, they do land in Sderot and Nivedot and all these other towns around. And yes, occasionally these unguided, pathetic little missiles do kill and threaten and seriously injure innocent civilians in Israel. But as a free-thinking human being, I will tell you the correct response to Islamist Hamas militants firing rockets into residential areas. The very last thing you do, and this comes from another famous Jewish guy, this is from Albert Einstein. You cannot solve a problem using the same level of consciousness that the problem is causing. All right? So if they're firing missiles, you firing missiles 10 times greater and killing 10 times as many children isn't going to solve that problem. Here's what we do, Israel. Here's what you do if you want to win back public confidence, if you don't want to be seen as baby killers. Here's what you do. You see that massive special forces division you have in the IDF? You see these highly trained, heavily armed, American-funded killers, these assassins that are trained to shoot and kill and do urban warfare? Why not send in a few platoons of highly trained Israeli forces into the Gaza Strip to arrest or kill wanted, dead or alive, the very Hamas militants flying these rockets? Why not? I will tell you why, ladies and gentlemen. It's because Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli cabinet, all the politicians, this isn't what they think, this is a belief they have. A belief they have is that an Israeli life is not, you know, as kind of disposable as a Palestinian life. And here's their thinking. In the whole world, maybe 10 million Jews, 20 million Jews if we're lucky. Yet, on the same world, maybe 1.1 billion Muslims, so 50 times as many people are on the Arab side as on the Israeli side. So the way they see it, the way they think it, we cannot afford to send in Jewish soldiers into the Gaza Strip, into a bloody urban warfare, when it's so much easier for us to drop these massive bombs and blow up 3 city streets and 10 buildings and fucking lots of children. And like, look, the IDF, the wonderful IDF has been putting out these propaganda videos. I hope you've seen them. They're on LiveLeak, they're on YouTube. Search IDF latest strikes. And what they do a knock on the door. We send a small bomb, a laser-guided small bomb, which is like a massive flash grenade, onto the roof of a building. It goes bang, the whole neighborhood knows that this is a building that's about to be airstriked. And this is the theory. The theory is the local Palestinian residents, the Gazans, they see, oh shit, that building's gonna get blown up. So it gives them 2 minutes, 120 seconds to then disappear into a different neighborhood. They can exit their buildings, wipe their bums and go and do something else. But in practice, what has happened is that we do a knock on the door, we do a flashbang on the roof. All the local Hamas and Gazans around there, they say, ah, the evil devil Jew is about to strike. So when we've got video of this from our drones, they will then send hundreds of children and women and innocent people onto the roof of this building as a human shield. And you see the infrared images from our drones, and you see hundreds of people milling around on this roof. And of course then, the IDF cannot strike that building. So it's actually an effective way to prevent that, you know, because international condemnation, there is a level of people that you can kill before it becomes too ridiculous, and before you start getting banned from World Cups and Olympics and G8 summits, G20s like South Africa. And I'm not saying the situation in Israel and Palestine is like South Africa, but it's getting there, isn't it? And like, look, there's a Hegelian dialectic issue here. It's like, you know, there's the big activist community in the West. It's a Hegelian thing. It's like, my enemy's enemy is my friend, and they will support Hamas and the Palestinians to the ends of the earth, regardless of how many Israeli children or people get blown up, because it's the same thing as they will support Vladimir Putin against the West, because they hate Obama and David Cameron so much, they will actually side with Islamo-fascist fucking people hell-bent on driving Israel into the sea. I'm like, look, this isn't drama, this isn't exaggeration when we say Hamas wants to actually extinguish every single Israeli life and wipe them off the map. It's written in their charter, it's their mission statement. And so for, like, you know, as an Israeli, thank you all the Western people caring about what's happening in our backyard. But you have to understand, us Israelis, victims of the second greatest Holocaust in the history of mankind, the first being the Native American Holocaust in North America. So as victims of a 6 million dead in Europe, as the civilized, in fact, as a civilized nation, Germany, eugenics, great idea, guys. And we will never forgive the Arab world for siding with Adolf Hitler, for those meetings, those photographs of these fucking high-ranking Arab officials, these mosque leaders, sitting with Adolf Hitler, shaking hands. And now we have this group where their charter is, their mission statement is to wipe Jews off the map in the Middle East. It's gone too far. And before I conclude this video, so many people kind of have a verbal diarrhea, kind of fucking excretion, and they say, Al-Qaeda has never attacked Israel, therefore Al-Qaeda is Mossad. And like, okay, that's fucked up philosophical fucking premise to conclusion, you know, your kind of premises are a bit wrong there, but the reason ISIS, a Sunni Muslim group, does not attack Israel is, again, that classic my enemy's enemy is my friend. Israel is knocking shit out of Hezbollah, it's fucking blowing up nuclear scientists in Iran, and it's cooking, bombing the Gazans. And all the Gazans, the Hezbollah and the Iranians are Shia or Shiite Muslims. And therefore, we are doing the work of fucking ISIS and the fucking Al-Qaeda. But look, this is the thing, guys, there's human rights, there's politics, and then there's realpolitik. There's a balance, there's a very delicate balance, and the realpolitik of the situation, guys, is that Israel and the epigenetically fucking warped thinking of the Jewish diaspora, which obviously has its ground zero, its epicenter in Israel, is that the victimhood, the feeling that they're out to get us, is written into our genes, literally, from hundreds of years of being expelled from nations, from 75 years ago, the fucking killing fields of Auschwitz and Krakow and all the fucking other camps that the Western world allowed to run. They didn't bomb, they didn't stop this killing. The only solution to the Israeli-Palestinian problem will be for a Muslim country, preferably a very rich one, to move all the Palestinians safely and securely onto somewhere else where they're not neighboring Israel, and then fund them. I don't know what you want to do, but there isn't going to be peace. It's too intertwined, the hatred is too fucking strong, the indoctrination on both sides to hate the other is too much. And like this latest round where the IDF has killed 100 Palestinian babies, what's that going to do? Do you think the Palestinians go, oh shit, they've killed enough babies now, we surrender, sorry. Violence begets violence. And Israel's chickens have come home to roost. It's nothing to do except you have to move the Palestinians. It's the real politics of the situation. They have to go. Either they're going to get wiped out in some thermonuclear attack by a fucking insane Orthodox Jew within the Israeli military and will never admit to having nukes, or the Palestinians have to move. I hate to say this, but as an Israeli, as Daniel Cohen, as a Tel Aviv resident, it's the only thing that's going to work.